up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. Be yourself, see yourself. This is the show, my people. Believe our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. No respect on selfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to build. And all the things that will happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play a role, get where you need to. Look and tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling is the show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. Be yourself, see yourself. This is the show, my people. Believe our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. No respect on selfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to build. And all the things that will happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. Be yourself, see yourself. This is the show, my people. Believe our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. No respect on selfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes to build. And all the things that will happen and not got blue skies. And nothing that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. Get up, make every day count. Don't waste it, people. Do your part, play a role, get where you need to. Look and tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling is the show with no matter even if you're at home. Just call in.
Monday morning 2025. I'm Mose hosting today's edition of your conversation, the people's conversation. Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes here on Creme Radio and of course on XTV. We got to welcome you all to the house. You're listening, you're watching, you're on our apps or social media streams, of course. Those getting us via simulcast coverage. It's great having you on board now. You know, we love you here. It's beautiful. Just a quick reminder, people on our social media streams, subscribe, follow, make our relationship official. Please do that. We trust that you got up this morning with great health, energy through the roof, vibrations positive, and of course, in our interest, we want to make sure that, yeah, we understand your morning has many aspects, things to do, but we hope you have enough space for us and enough space you can get in and participate in the conversation, because that is what we seek. Exchanges, views, reasoning. It's beautiful. But before we do that, we've got to bring you the warm-ups. And that includes our morning news update, of course. But before we get there, we check in with the National Meteorological Service and find out what the forecast has for us today. So let's turn to the National Met Service. We've got forecaster Crystal Rosales and got the weather update for you guys.
Good morning. A somewhat moist and moderate easterly airflow prevails over the country. In the 24-hour forecast, skies will be sunny with some cloudy spells today and then cloudy at times tonight. Showers or thunderstorms will be isolated today and then gradually increase tonight, starting over the south and coast. And then high temperatures will reach around 88 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 94 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and then 80 degrees Fahrenheit in the mountains. For tonight, low temperatures will reach around 80 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 72 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and then 68 degrees Fahrenheit in the hills. Winds over the open sea will be from the east at 10 to 20 knots, with sea conditions being choppy to moderate. And then low tides occur at 7:29 this morning and at 8:31 tonight. High tides at 1:22 this afternoon and then at 2:30 tomorrow morning. The moon will rise at 10:15 this morning and then set at 10:47 tonight, while sunset is at 6:31 this evening and sunrise at 5:21 tomorrow morning. In the extended forecast, skies will be cloudy at times, with a few showers and isolated thunderstorms occurring around the country on Tuesday. Activity will decrease and then become isolated on Tuesday night, with slightly more lingering over the south. Then in the sargassum update, there continues to be a medium to high chance of more sargassum affecting beaches across the country during the next few days. And finally, for the tropical weather outlook, tropical cyclone formation is not expected during the next 48 hours over the North Atlantic basin. And this has been this morning's weather report from the National Meteorological Service.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989, Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
Rains that started Wednesday, continued Thursday, and intensified Friday disrupted daily life in many communities in the Orange Walk district by 5 Friday evening. Greatly impacted were the villages of Trinidad, San Jose, Trail Farm, San Pablo, San Esteban, and San Roman. Vehicles were almost swallowed up in some areas. Houses and businesses were flooded out to levels reminiscent of June 2022, when the waters rose about halfway up the building at Puma gas station at the entrance of Orange Walk Town. Large portions of the Philip Goulston Highway became impassable Friday evening into Saturday. The Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing activated in response to this extreme flooding at miles 41, 42, mile 52 at Tower Hill, and mile 62, 63 in San Jose Village to assist with traffic management. Drivers were advised not to attempt to pass those areas, as water depth was estimated to be as high as 20 inches over the road surface. A man lost his motorcycle that was washed away as he attempted to cross the strong currents on the highway. The National Emergency Management Organization opened several shelters in some of the affected villages Friday night and provided food packs to shelterees. They had moved out by Sunday as the waters receded. 8 families, totaling over 30 persons, sought shelter in San Pablo village, but other families who were forced to evacuate sought shelter with relatives. Jose Carballo, regional coordinator for NEMO, reported that a final list of affected families would be finalized by Sunday evening or this morning by the Relief and Supplies Committee. Overnight, as flood waters were flowing downstream, One resident in higher elevation said they had never experienced such flooding in over 3 decades and questioned if there had been any prior warning from emergency authorities. Meanwhile, out west, a culvert along the road to Motomawa village gave way under the pressure from the rains and cut off the village. The National Trade Union Congress of Belize postponed its march and rally in Belize City due to the weather, and down south, the village council elections in Aguacate were postponed Sunday due to the flooding of the Aguacate Bridge. On Sunday, the Public Service Union reported to its membership that 75.6% of members who voted accepted the government of Belize's third counter-proposal on a salary increase and frozen increments. The proposal was presented to the joint union's negotiating team last week, Thursday. It consists of the payment of the 8.5% salary increase in 2 tranches of 4.5% on October 1st, 2025, and the other 4% on October 1st, 2026. We are told that the Association of Public Service Senior Managers likewise voted by a majority to accept the offer. The vote from the Belize National Teachers Union remains outstanding. With the existential crisis in the sugar industry that is seeing bad returns, including for cane farmers, Minister of Agriculture Jose Mai reported Friday that another paper will be presented to Cabinet for an increase in the price of sugar on the local market. A previous recommendation for a price increase was rejected. 20-year-old Jeffrey Cal, a resident of San Isidro village in the south, died due to injuries suffered in a traffic accident Friday evening. Sometime around 6:50 p.m., Cal was riding a motorcycle on the Thomas Vincent Ramos Highway when he collided with a pedestrian identified as 19-year-old Aaron Cal of Bella Vista village. Both were traveling in the same direction. The teen sustained injuries that were not life-threatening, but Jeffrey Cal was pronounced dead on arrival for treatment. Reports are that he had borrowed the motorcycle from his brother-in-law moments before the collision. Police are investigating the death of 62-year-old fisherman Delmar Wagner of the Mahon River area in the south. He and 2 other fishers were at a campsite at the mouth of the river socializing. David Wade reported to police at 7 p.m. Friday that Wagner was cooking and decided to go for a swim. Wade says he asked him to check on the food, and when he got back to where Wagner was swimming, he was nowhere to be seen. His companions conducted a search but could not locate him and sought the assistance of authorities. Members of the Belize Coast Guard returned with 2 men to the location, and after some time, they came upon Wagner's body, which was transported to the Punta Gorda Community Hospital. A post-mortem awaits. That's the end of this morning news update. We'll take ourselves a small break, and then we come back. We'll be open for the business of conversation. You're listening to Creme Radio. You're watching XTV. We'll be right back.
Informative, accurate, current information. Crem's newscast. Local, regional, and international news. Weather and sports.
At Atlantic Bank, we stand as more than just a financial institution. We are your partners in progress, dedicated to fostering your success by providing tailored solutions to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Your successes are our triumphs, and every success story deserves to be celebrated. We pledge to stand by you every step of the way. Today, we celebrate the values that define you with your unwavering dedication, steadfast commitment, boundless innovation, resolute work ethic, and unyielding ambition. We will navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and continue building the future together.
Amanda Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
Imagine getting rewards for your spending. Smart prepaid customers countrywide, it's time to level up with Smart Gains. Smart Gains are exclusive, limited time offers sent straight to your phone. We're talking irresistible rewards. You'll actually want extra credit, bonus data, and exclusive perks, all tailored to you. Because at Smart, we've always got your back. Don't miss out on rewards made just for you. Smart Gains, Smart Savings, Smart You. Smart, bringing people together.
In 2024, the Belizean diaspora took over Los Angeles with the first ever Belize Diaspora Summit, and you know the only thing that could be ever better than that is to do it again. Belize Diaspora Summit 2.0. This time it takes place in the state of Florida, Fort Lauderdale Forward Convention Center, July 10th, the 11th, the 12th. Belizeans from the diaspora, Belizeans from home in Belize, join together. Let's do it again. 3 days, government services, clinics, business displays, kitty corner, pop-up trivias, panel discussions. There will be highlights for business mixers. There will be a live performance. Racindo, Destiny Wagner is going to be there. There's going to be a live performance of Makobi. And you will have Immigration and Civil Rights Town Hall. Special guest Kenneth Gibson, interview and book reading. There will be a wind-up reception, rhythms and rum. It's happening, Belize Diaspora 2.0, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Forward Convention Center. Don't miss it. All right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. It's Monday morning, June the 30th, and we are now open for conversation. I'm Mose, and this is your WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. And all you need to do right now is call, and you are an active participant in the show. We always preach it. We're not there to talk to ourselves. We're not there to preach. We are here to engage in conversation with you. Yeah. Call us 280-5848. Those are the live lines. Respect the people listening to us on the radio, watching us on the television, XTV. To those getting us on social media, well, it's great. Let me take this call. Krem, good morning, WB.
Brother Mose, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can't not only for respect the right of page 2. Hello?
You're live on the air, Brother Torres. Go ahead, man.
All right. Yeah, because seriously, move your lip and I only get it here. All right. I say I not only call, or for say I not only respect the writer on page 2 of the mandala of Friday, June 27th, last weekend, of felt on ICJ judgment unfavoring for the sign. But I also admire the courage of contributing. So I said, so readers like myself could learn that yes or no, or be informed that yes, not only Ernesto Torres patiently waiting on verdict. You see, personally, me, Ernesto Torres, please. I think for myself and all others who think for me. I know and predict or tell in advance the court's determination, my friend. You see. But if what I have read previous to the ICJ referendum, some call it referendum, whatever, in the campaign, that treaty is binding. You see, and obligatory engagement. Yeah, you sign. You hand over this piece of land to we. You said I'm yours, but you give me jurisdiction and sovereignty. Then I said, no court could rule against. You see, moreover, if I could recall, the treaty is in court to decide, my friend, on the demarcation of boundaries, not claiming land. Not claiming land, to mark off boundaries and legally separate what are you for you and what are for me. So I can observe, you see, or notice and pay heed. In other words, when disregard ignorance, you will know that side, not believe that side of Guatemala. That's all I call for this morning, brother. One more. I was always against, I won't say against, I never said no immediate attention to amend current constitution of Belize, of nation state. I never see. Because we don't know yet the makeup of Belize when the verdict come into being. What I have been claiming and hammering ever since that I not got it handy, I say, I got it this time and permit, but nevertheless, on the fundamental rights and freedom. I give away all the rights and freedom to do as we wish, but to limit it. One part says, hey, you can make all the noise you want. You could move around free of movement, free to secure your life. But you not make them freedom hamper the freedom of others, and that's the way they catch we today dear. Because we know nothing has a purpose in Belize. We had one park, Memorial Park, where I used to carry my kids and go play. That is the purpose of park for children, not for playing in your yard and make nice to the neighbor. when they rest or when they read or when they eat. Enough of that. They had one residency that for sleep, for live. But we were not taught, we were not schooled ever since. And the Constitution, I don't know what happened to it. We know get one copy. What I would recommend, they send the things them to the Prime Minister Cabinet, and I know the process. But the time for you start and write page by page in the mandala so people could read what you may submit. Because other than that, the money gone down the drain.
So, but a tourist, just a quick response on the matter of the commentary on the ICJ. So, first time I've heard you acknowledge, in fact, the person who put that argument forward originally is Ms. Sandra Corey, that how can you have a discussion on the Constitution when we have chosen to put the entire territory of Belize up for litigation, and for it to be determined now across the Atlantic Ocean. That's where it's being determined. A process that is ongoing, a process that we have more interest in how basketball games they go, how football games they go. We're more interested in scoring updates from worldwide games than we are about updates for the territorial future of our country, which we chose to put it there. Last week I commented on the matter, acknowledging and accepting that the ICJ and the Belize-Guatemala dispute is now like some kind of stale bread. For many people, they treat it like it's mole-infested, nothing that anybody wants to touch. Meanwhile, it has so much importance, and in this, in this ever worsening climate on the planet for the rule of law and due process, the old rules which we never handled too well, but which to some extent gave smaller countries just a little thread of hope. Those rules are essentially being discarded, and we end up with a situation where, for example, I think it was last week or maybe the week before, peace was declared in the Congo. And we have the situation where the President of the United States of America declared it quite an achievement. And so we know that in the Congo there are multiple things that have gone on there. It's a scene of a global crime. But alongside that crime, there's been an ongoing violence between states, with Rwanda either directly or indirectly, it does claim it's not, but it's been supporting rebel movements, and there's been like thousands of people killed.
Yes.
And so last week, I think it was last week or the last week, they signed a peace agreement that essentially was sanctioned and endorsed by the President of the United States of America.
Yes.
What is not said very loudly is that the US got involved once there was the guarantee of minerals and important no, I'm telling you what happened. So essentially what happened, this is becoming a kind of a, where I said 2025 playbook adjustment, where the US is available to participate and be involved if you cut and deal with them. So it's no longer about the United Nations. It's no longer about diplomacy. It's no longer about all the institutions that are part and the established rules of law and processes that have been sanctioned by the United Nations for the last since World War II. What is happening now is that, incredibly, last week, Mr. Trump, the president, was hailed at the meeting of NATO as Daddy. He was called Daddy.
Daddy?
Yes, Daddy. So we used to know her as Uncle, but Uncle Sam, but now Uncle Sam and now Daddy. And so in this new playbook, it becomes very, very you would say perilous. You would say it's different for sure, and you better understand how the game don't change, how the rules don't change, and remember now, incredibly, there were two statements which blew my mind coming out of the Iran-Israel 12-day conflict, the Israel-US-Iran 12-day conflict. There were two quotes which were stunning. One was when it first started, the President of the United States of America said, when asked about the conflict, said sometimes you have to just let them fight it out a bit. That's to the tune of about, in 12 days, I believe the tally is somewhere around 700 lives and billions of dollars that basically, essentially, like the amount of money that was spent in those 12 days and was lost and was destroyed is incredible. The cost of the 12-day battle is incredible. But midway in the conflict, the most powerful office on the planet declared, sometimes you just have to let them fight it out. And then the next extremely stunning statement, which didn't get a lot of attention, is the German Chancellor saying, not something that was leaked. No, he said it publicly, unapologetically, and very clearly. He said, hey, Israel is doing our dirty work.
Yeah, it's doing fine.
They're doing the dirty work for us. Now, for Germany, which has been playing the role of being super progressive when it comes to wars and violence and that type of thing, that was old school Germany, you know. That was some throwback. That was some throwback. And I'm saying that the reason I bring these things up is not to spend a lot of time on world news and all of that. Is to say you can't remain the same. You can't think the same when the rules change. If you are playing a basketball game and in the middle of the basketball game they say, oh, we're not called foul no more. Listen, so you play basketball. Anybody that has ever played basketball knows that whether you play pickup ball or you play organized ball, there is a thing called foul. There's a thing called foul, right? And you call foul when somebody have too much of a hard contact on you physically. But imagine you're playing basketball in the middle of the game or the tournament. They say, you know what? We tired of how that as a part of the rule of the game. there is no such thing called foul anymore. Because that is what is happening here. You would be a fool to continue playing basketball the same way when the rules are changed.
Adapt to the rule.
So you better one know which rule has been changed, and you best understand what the implications are for that rule change, because we don't set the order of the day. Well, we should collectively, small countries like Belize should be far more you would say far more seen, and be agitating to say, well, you guys, they abandon the things that you have preached about for 60, 70 years.
Yes.
We should be holding them accountable.
Yes.
But each one are we just there in our only world right now in a 2025. And so these things are happening at a lightning speed.
Well, I have faith, Brother Mose.
Good for you, sir.
I have faith. I
good for you. Good for you. I have faith, but prepare for be foul.
Trust and faith.
Listen to me. Have faith, but be prepared for get foul, and no whistle, no blow. Because
no.
that is 20.
I know they go down the road there, Brother Moses. I'm not going. I'm not going that road there.
Listen, this was the case before. It was something that was just completely being done to the naked eye. We should have had this kind of protectiveness, this kind of precautionary approach to everything that we do, because the planet was always a dangerous place. Geopolitics was always a very dangerous game, and they will eat your food and not shed a tear. Children are being killed every single day, all parts of the world, and nobody has time to try to intervene on anybody's behalf. But now it's even worse, and we cannot continue walking and whistling while a new or a worsened reality has taken place. Right? What's that?
We have the things different. I see it the proper way. You see it your way.
But a tourist, on that note, have yourself a great Monday.
Thank you, Brother Mose.
He sees it the proper way and I see it my way, which means, in other words, I see it the wrong way, he sees it the right way. That's a very pretty way, a really true job for me. Thank you, Brother Tourist. The telephone number is 2805848. As luck or lack of luck would have it, Friday evening, I was in a vehicle heading north to Corazon around 3-4 o'clock, which means that I ended up in the vicinity of very serious waterfall taking place along Orange Walk, the outskirts of Orange Walk, which has now become news. Just about when it was the worst of it. We started getting, the skies were incredibly black. And this was like from around Biscayne area going through Crooked Tree, Rayburn Ridge area. Listen, from there it started and it didn't stop. And so we experienced a bit of the I would say before it got to its worst, we had a bit of it. And caller, if you just allow me, but let me take the call. Krem, good morning.
Morning, my brother. How are you?
Good morning. Let me just finish this point, please.
All right.
Because it's very important. So, what struck me when I'm in the middle of this, and then later on in the evening would start to seeing certain releases of just how bad. This is photo that we are showing on XTV right now, I believe is San Jose, in the immediate aftermath of the flooding. This would have been early Saturday morning. What struck me was, for somebody, I am in the media, and for at least 3 mornings of the week, I have to listen. I can't avoid the weather forecast, but just as a general practice in my life, I check the weather. And I am saying to the Emergency Management Organization and the National Met Service, I don't know if it is you had done any prior warning that this was something that was likely or was coming, and if they did, I missed it. And I would say if I missed it, at the very least, these entities need to review how it is they're disseminating this information. If they didn't, if there was no prior warning, then the need for review is more urgent, and the scope of that review needs to be broader. And you might say, I'm sure that the water is going down now, and people now have to clean up and try to recover, and the roads are now passable and all of that. But not because you say, well, all is well that ends well. Not for the people who had damage and lost stuff, but you say for the most part nobody got hurt, blah, blah, all is well that ends well. That is some BS, because when you're dealing with especially something like this, it could have been worse. But more importantly, it's important that you look to see, well, what went wrong with the emergency information sharing? Are you guys comfortable with your performance? You guys think, well, we did what we could have done with the information we have? You were not aware that the system would have gotten to this point? It's possible. But as a layperson, an everyday citizen, end up on the road Friday afternoon into the evening, I had no idea that water want to drop to that level there, and that there was a threat of a flood happening. And I feel that there should have been ample warning that this was a significant possibility. And so at the very least, I am saying, while I cannot jump and say our emergency information forecasting and performance was completely inadequate, that has to be determined by a thorough looking into and a report. What happened? Come forward and say how these people in these villages and in Orange Walk felt that we never know that this happened. This never there as one. That's never the path we radar any at all. And in the 2025, with the realities of climate change, this will be the norm. This is not an exception. And so we have to, especially when we're able to dodge a bullet, and as you say, for the most part, end terribly, we have an obligation to act responsibly and honestly and say, did we perform how we need to perform? I can't give you one grade. I only give you the facts as I had my experience and what the people in these villages experienced. There was a shortage of advance notice of this possibility. And so what I am calling for is for these entities to look deeply into this and say, did we perform? And then to report to us and say, well, listen, this was why this happened. We could not have anticipated that this system would have whoop, 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 whoop. But do not simply push a little matter like this. If you want to look at it as a little matter, it's not a category 5 hurricane or whatever, but it was a weather system that caught a lot of people unprepared. And so we need to check whether we were in our optimal performance gear for this system that struck Friday evening, Thursday into Friday evening, but really on Friday afternoon, evening, when this thing really intensified. With that said, Brick, go ahead. Sorry I took up so much of your time, but I had to lay that out.
No, you hit the nail on the head, my brother. You hit the nail on the head. Because I was thinking about it myself, but I wanted me one kind of forward thinking there and think like, how we couldn't, I mean, me and you, we good, but imagine the people. It's like the ultimate surprise. I mean, yes, we know whether we come down, but we don't know how you want to come and how much water will come. Motorcycle float, I see vehicle jungle. You know what I'm saying? And then the things when you bring it up, they have an issue with it. They make it sound like they have a problem. So I will accept for them and appreciate if they come out and say to themselves, yeah, we know the weather may come, but we never know to where mount it to it. You understand where I come from?
Mm-hmm.
I want to take that. I want to take that because, I mean, them been nigga weather. We could get away in you. Them been having weather out there. You know what I'm saying? So, you hit the nail on the head. Well, next thing that concern me most, where I watch it right now, I want to study upon the read, want to study upon the social media, they bleed it out. There's a building to the end of Lacroix Boulevard. A big building. I think about 4 stories. The building have been there for more than 20 years. The building look like it's sink. Now the danger with that building, I will give you 2 incidents with that building. One incident was with a female and her gentleman way. By the end of the day, it looked like it was a domestic affair and him drag her up there. That one incident was the building really, really tall. It looked like an abandoned building. Alright? Next thing, you could see for yourself every day.
I know the building.
Kids
I know the building. I know the building.
Kids are going on that building most to just hang out. I see danger. The authorities have been called in, but they say they can't do nothing about it. You're up to the owner and sending for text that the owner have no proof. I also hear that, so I don't want nobody take that as so. But the thing is, Mose, again, it's just like the incident with these hearts. Yesterday, Mose, the day before, St. Thomas, big horse race. 4 horse, low things. When I tell you big horse race, no, big horse race. Then the things with we is like we wait till something get out of hand to want to do something about it, and then by the end of the day we find excuse. It's like we don't care no more. We don't pay attention no more. Like no concern with no more. You understand? This is the reality. What we face, each and every day in this country. It's like these people who are in charge pay attention to the things they want to pay attention to and not pay attention to the things we're concerned with and we're important to it. But when you get out of hand, the thing, especially a building dangerous for them pick me go up there every day. That's summertime. I will let you with that this morning.
All right, my brother, give thanks for the call. This is WUB WUB Morning Vibes. We're going to go to 2 Cents Scam, sponsored by 4 Point Security. After that, we take a first break. And when we come back, we are going to have a very special guest coming in the house. So we do have a very special conversation lined up. Stick around, listen to Creme Radio, watch XTV. This is WUB WUB Morning Vibes on this last day of June 2025.
You're watching WB and this is XTV, and you know when whether they out, but Belize are not like it. the hurricane warning that serious. So tell me something, how people get ready and prepare for hurricane? I want to find out the people in 2 cents, all right? Because trust me, when storm they out. And people that believe don't like take warning. Some of the basic things people have pick up, like how they have only warning out about the hurricane.
Yes, with the hurricane right now, people mostly would have pick up flour, shortening, yeast, the basic thing for make bread, bun, you know, in a perishable, canned food, water, candles, the batteries. You know, we don't know the main things we need to pick up.
You think people pay attention? You think people take it serious?
It's a bit still early, but they do have people where prefer be prepared, and you know, last minute I be chaotic. So
all right, you talk from experience.
Yes.
That's your 2 cents.
Yes, that's my 2 cents.
All right. What are some of the basic things you pick up to grab if push come to shove?
Right, most like on the flour, sugar, but then thing not there. So you pick up anything not there.
That's your 2 cents.
My 2 cents.
There, what are some of the basic things you pick up if you're here, if the weather is about to
the first thing I pick up that's some kerosene. I make sure I got a kerosene lamp. You know why? Because BL feel too much to men. But yeah, why? We need some canned food, man. It's the paper chaser.
Like, what's some of the things you don't want to buy? What do you think you need to get? All right. The weather they come where the stack up pan? Where the stack up pan? Sir, your 2 cents.
One close.
Like anywhere I come, where the stack up pan? Where to buy like what? Where to buy for your house?
One close.
That you 2 cents. Nothing.
In 2024, the Belizean diaspora took over Los Angeles with the first ever Belize Diaspora Summit, and you know the only thing that could be ever better than that is to do it again. Belize Diaspora Summit 2.0. This time it takes place in the state of Florida, Fort Lauderdale Board Convention Center, July 10th, the 11th, the 12th. Belizeans from the diaspora, Belizeans from home in Belize, join together. Let's do it again. 3 days, government services, clinics, business displays, kitty corner, pop-up trivias, panel discussions. There will be highlights for business mixers. There will be live performance. Racindio, Destiny Wagner is going to be there. There's going to be a live performance of Makobi. And you will have Immigration and Civil Rights Town Hall, special guest Kenneth Gibson, interview and book reading. There will be a wind-up reception, rhythms and rum. It's happening, Belize Diaspora 2.0, Florida, Fort Lauderdale Board Convention Center. Don't miss it.
Whether the job is big or small, every super handy dad needs the right tools. And at Brothers Habet and Habet, we have what you need. Enjoy super savings all June, like 15% off all power tools and hand tools, 25% off track car batteries, Eureka Vats, and Pisaforte towels, 25% off Penta Decon and discontinued colors, 30% off Valspar, and 40% off Dutch Boy paints. Plus, we're giving away $200 to 6 lucky super handy dads. Every $50 you spend gets you a chance to win. So this year, give Dad his best gift yet from Brothers Habet and Habet. Come in or reach out today. Happy Father's Day to all super handy dads.
At Atlantic Bank, we stand as more than just a financial institution. We are your partners in progress, dedicated to fostering your success by providing tailored solutions to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Your successes are our triumphs, and every success story deserves to be celebrated. We pledge to stand by you every step of the way. Today, we celebrate the values that define you with your unwavering dedication, steadfast commitment, boundless innovation, resolute work ethic, and unyielding ambition. We will navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and continue building the future together.
Imagine getting rewards for your spending. Smart prepaid customers countrywide, it's time to level up with Smart Gains. Smart Gains are exclusive, limited time offers sent straight to your phone. We're talking irresistible rewards. You'll actually want extra credit, bonus data, and exclusive perks, all tailored to you. Because at Smart, we've always got your back. Don't miss out on rewards made just for you. Smart Gains, Smart Savings, Smart You. Smart, bringing people together.
Tired of appliances that just don't last? Appliances that just can't keep up? It's time for a change. GE Appliances delivers reliability, innovation, and performance you can trust. The decision is easy. Don't settle for less. Choose quality, choose reliability, choose GE. Paid for by homeowners who demand better appliances.
World shifts to regional supply chains, Belize is poised to lead. This is where blue innovation meets green ambition, and orange creativity thrives. Join us for the Belize Investment Summit 2025, September 3rd to 5th at the Sunset Carib in San Pedro. From agribusiness to aquaculture, from renewable energy to digital services, from tourism to trade, this is the future of regional integration, and it starts here. Whether you're returning home, expanding regionally, or entering new markets, Belize welcomes you. Why Belize? Why now? Belize Investment Summit 2025, Bridging Markets, Building Resilience, September 3rd to 5th at Sunset Carib, San Pedro. Visit investmentsummit.bz to register and be part of shaping the investment frontier.
Alright, welcome back to the WUB Wake Belize Morning Vibes. Monday morning, the last day of June 2025. Mose Hyde hosting here. We welcome you all back. The telephone number is 280-5848. At this point in time, we've got a big conversation to give you with the Belize Bus Owners Association in the house. We are very honored to have in studios to my left, Roland Gilhari. We have Thomas Shaw, he's the president of the BBA, and we have Philip Jones, vice president of the BBA. In case you've been missing it, there's been a conversation going on, starting of course with the new Minister of National Transportation, Minister Zabane, coming to the media to put this proposal of a public-private owned entity that will kind of just become the monopoly bus service of Belize. Then after that was put forward, we heard a bit from the BBA pushing back, considering that rush, premature to put that out there because there are some very serious problems. So I've got to say good morning and welcome to you guys. And let me start with you, Mr. President, Mr. Shaw. When did this latest effort to do something about the state of public transportation, when did this latest edition begin?
Well, this latest edition, first of all, good morning, Belize Radio TV listeners. First of all, I think most of you are aware that under the leadership of Roger Ferguson, operators were actually promised and told that they needed to upgrade. And unfortunately, most operators went out there and did so. I would say 90% of the buses that are on the major highways now are recent buses from what they really had, and they sold the older buses. After we had the election, they had it was what was it? It was
in March.
Yeah, that was in March. Then they had a shuffle within the cabinet, whereas Robert Ferguson had left, and then we have the new minister, Louis Zamene, took over. So on his taking over in office, he called this meeting and invited all the major players in the industry on the major highways to attend this concept, this dialogue, and in terms of forming a PPP. And he explained everything. And to be honest with you, at first when he had started mentioning all these things, it sounded so good. But after we went back to our membership, we went back to our membership, the operators realized that when they did analyze the whole thing, they realized that it wasn't really adding up. Because first of all, they were not asked if they want to sell their business. They were not asked if they want to continue in the business. They were told that if you we're going to have people come in and value your assets, and based on what percentage you have in your assets, you can put it back into shares. You can put some into shares and join the company, or you can get payout. So after the operators listened to this carefully, they realized that this wouldn't be working out due to the fact that they wanted to know where the money was coming from, who will be the main investor in this business. Is it the government? Is it a foreign entity? They wanted to know because they were a bit skeptical. And the biggest thing is trust, that the operators have no trust in the government, again, due to the fact that they were promised a tier system, they were promised a 5 to 10 year permit. Nothing like that didn't materialize. So we're here this morning just to trash it out and to let the public understand exactly it's not that we're against change. We welcome change, and we know we got to go there, and we always put the passengers, the commuters first. That's our main priority. So with that said, that's to start off, because we have so much more to do. We have Mr. Gilhari here with us. We have Mr. Jones, my deputy, and each one of us has something vital to really put out there for you guys.
Gentlemen, when I spoke on this, I said, listen, the state of public transportation the state and the quality of it ultimately is the result of politics and the politicizing and the heavy politicizing of the industry. Am I way off? Do you share that view that the industry the politics has not had the best situation, the best impact on this industry?
Well, that's a major whereby that we have been sitting down at the table on many occasions to move this industry forward. And whenever we make some step forward, things start to change, or our government changes, or our minister change. So that have impacted us greatly for us to excel the way we wanted, because then whenever there's a change, then the permit move from 2 years to 1 year to now 3 years, 6 months. And with those time period, it's hard for you to do any major investment with that short period, because if you want to make any investment, you need to have guarantees, and if you don't have guarantees, then that enable you to pursue the finance you need to get, because then there's no security in the industry, there's no guarantee. So why should I make this investment when I'm not certain what my fate lies, if government will change, if minister change in what the president rightly said, so it's not that we don't want to improve. We have made significant improvement. We have over 80% of the operators that made improvement, and you can see it on the highway. The commuters.
So you feel like the media does an injustice to that. I think the president was alluding to that, to say right now we are showing some of the news coverage of some bad incidents involving buses. You might say, well, that on my bus line, you have some operators who don't meet the standards, but then it reflect poorly on everybody,
I agree, that is true. And if you notice the recent incident we had, one was with a fire. That was a brake issue, and unfortunately it happened that way. But that's a modern bus. What the government consider as a modern bus for our country, and that was a bus that recently came in, and I know the owners of that bus, and they service the time. It's unfortunately, but you can count the incidents that as far as my memory, because the last time there was a bus fire.
Well, you know that I'm very familiar with the maybe the Ladyville journey makes me have a word I say one biased view of how things go, because I don't know that the Ladyville ones have been going in the right direction.
Well, in the Ladyville instance, we believe that there was some injustice there, and it's unfortunately how that plays out.
But politics?
Because of politics, of course, and then the operator who was moving out was making significant investments. Hence the reason why we're here, because then the operators that we represent is not buying with these PPPs, for the simple fact that we have been promised so many things before, and we have always get the short end and the stick. And the operators, we are not here because of myself or Mr. Shah or Mr. Gilhari. We are here for the majority operators who represent BB, and I like to make it clear that we try to guide them as best as possible and be business minded, and at the end of the day, this is their livelihood. We are talking about legacy here, family member, from generation to generation. So we are not being ignorant operators here. You have to believe that we want to own something. We just don't want to give up our business and then become workers, a driver or conductor. Moving from ownership to driving and conduct, that's a hard pill to swallow, and we feel that we need more time, and we want to see a genuine effort on the minister part to encourage the majority of operators.
Mr. Gilhari, is it that there's a devil is in the details? Is there do you think that if there is some version of this proposal that could be worded, that could be legislated, that could be reconfigured in a way that would make you supportive of it, or is it that that there is no way this concept could ever be configured that you would have any interest in it?
I could speak for myself or ourselves on that particular question that you asked right now. If it would be that the majority of the bus owners would own the PPP, we would be willing. But not at the way it stands.
Not a minority shareholder.
Not a minority shareholder. The way it is structured, all the bus owners would probably only end up owning 10 to 15% of the industry. When at the present moment, they're owning 100% of their business. But it goes even further than this. It goes to whereby the bus owners want the best for the industry. Let me make this quite clear. The problem of modernization in transportation is because the proper structure and the proper legislation is not there that make the business economically viable. Look, if you look through history in transportation in Belize, you had bus owners that had modernized the industry to the standards that was an envy in Central America and Southern Mexico. We had brand new buses operating. We had modern buses operating.
This was
terminals in the 80s.
In the 80s.
Up to 85. Ticket sales, parcel sales, hotel, restaurant. This was what the standard was in our country until politics screwed it up. The legislation.
The terminals were better.
Far better. Far better. Had hotel and restaurant and
you
parcel
actually buy a ticket and you get a seat for the ticket.
Yes, sir. And you could have bought it in advance. In 1985.
So we're going back way.
We went back way seriously. Because the industry messed up when they did not put in the proper legislation. If the government would put in the proper legislation that would support growth, look, they don't even have to interfere that much. They could still manage the bus terminals, make money out of it, and the industry would survive. But no financial institution will give loans to members that does not have a long-term permit. As it is, they have to be mortgaging their family homes, their properties, so that they could modernize. And rightly said, this industry most recently have upgraded up to 80%. There's another aspect to all of this, that the modernization that they are talking about does not, I repeat, really address the problem of commuter runs, which is the major problem in Belize.
Please break that down when you say commuter run.
Commuter runs has to do with the people that travel on a daily basis, students, workers, policemen, the entire aspect.
A lot of that would be the northern.
It comes from all over the country. People going to Belmopan, people going to Belmopan.
Let's say you consider like between Sand Hill and Belize a major commuter run.
That is a major commuter run.
Maybe the biggest commuter run in the country.
Quite frankly, yes, because you have to look at commuter runs from their starting point and how developed that particular area is. And then you grant it the amount of runs that need to be done. Not only runs that are bypassing the town, but directly from the town.
So why doesn't this particular proposal have an impact on what you call the commuter
Because they are dealing with the long runs. They are not really dealing with the cycle of the villages to alleviate those particular stress. What you need to alleviate and make certain that the proper service is being done for the workers, for everyone, is alleviate those hotspots. Look, if you have a bus coming through town and it's scheduled to stop at Ladyville, but when it reaches Ladyville it's full, what do you expect then? You have to have Ladyville buses running from Ladyville, which is being done but not at the way it should. It needs more turning around and proper service. Because if you don't have the proper service, in other words, the amount of buses, you're still failing. There's another aspect to it. Because your permit only allows you to run one bus, then even you cannot provide better service for the customer. If you were allowed to put in another bus at your time, then you could even alleviate that particular problem because it's saturation times when people are coming to work, coming out from work, coming to school and so forth. So you have that huge aspect that a bus owner would say, well, he's not servicing and we give it to somebody else. No, man, give the same person a chance to put in another bus at that time. Because then that would make certain that it alleviates the problem.
A part of the problem, there were two problems that I recall when you guys were having a conversation with, I think, one that would have been the National Bank. One was the political control, government control of the board that, you know, you don't have the guarantee. And so they were asking for the for the board to be, the composition of the board to be changed. And then there was also the issue of the required data, because without a proper ticketing system, you guys can show I don't even know how you guys do it. I mean, to some extent you have to trust that your driver and your conductor, they are honest people. Yeah. To some extent.
Yeah.
Well, in regards to that, like what my brother Gilari said, that in the Novellos and the Gilari days and Z-Line, that was mandatory. Before you board the bus, you need to purchase a ticket. And that was from the 80s, 90s, late 90s. And if you go in the terminal now, all those ticket booths that used to be designated to sell tickets was turned into vendors. So it's hard for you now to continue to sell the ticket, because then there is no facility there to sell the tickets. And one of the biggest problems we have in this industry is that we do not regulate the price. It's the government that regulates the price. Like, for instance, the lowest tier in Mexico, Quintana, is like 16 cents US per mile. That's their lower level bus. The government wanted to use tier, so we are at the lowest level. We are 16 cents Belize. So they charge twice the price.
While their fuel is cheaper.
While their fuel is cheaper, and they get exempted from their government over there. Tax breaks. We have never get tax break here. We just get a small fuel break. How long was it, President? About 3 months?
Yeah.
And that was cancelled. So
that was during COVID.
That was during COVID. So I would just like to let the public know that we have been there from day one for them. We haven't been pushing prices. We have been pushing legislations. We have been pushing government minister to help us so we don't pass the burden on to the commuters. Give us a tax break like you do the other industry. Take off, we're just asking for fuel and parts. Just take off the GST off that for us. Right? That's all we were asking. And the same thing they're proposing now is what we have been asking for the past 2 to 3 decades.
In your views, Philip, there is no way this works. Like, there is no version of this that could work.
Well, my personal belief is that if they want it to work, the majority has to be the owner by the operators. That's the way I see it work. And if they, by force, or use the state, they will have to bring costs and put it on the commuters. There's no two way about it. The commuters will have to pay double.
And you know, as you say that, the learning curve to go from being a sole proprietor to becoming a shareholder, even if you're not majority shareholder, you can't be dismissive of that, because a part of the challenge here in Belize is that we don't have a corporate culture. We don't got a very sophisticated market shareholding thing. So our backgrounds, our natural knowledge advantage. If you got your boss, you run your business.
Exactly.
Figure on that to then figure out how you still have, how you could participate in our collective, while it is not that more corporate landscape, it can't work, but it requires one amount of understanding to make you be as effective as shareholders and business owner.
And that's our concern. There have not been proper consultation in terms to address our personal concern. Now, how do you say you will take my business now and make I become a worker? So what, we not for one nothing, we not for have nothing. We've just been to be workers. We can't be businessmen or own something. We have a lot of intelligent people in an association. Very intelligent people. And we can manage this industry, but we have been denied the simple things we need to do to continue to provide world-class service, modern service, because then if we would have gotten the same price that Mexico would be charging, because he's using audio as an example. Just in a Quintana Roo, audio have over 8,000 buses, 8,000 buses. We have about 200 here running on the highway, a little bit more than that. And they get fuel concession, they get tax breaks. If we would have gotten those same things, we like copy foreigners, why we don't copy that and say, make we give the people, If we have gotten any sort of incentive in this industry, we would have been on the same level as our Central American brothers.
To the consumer who says, listen, I want a comfortable seat, I want order, I want a terminal where have adequate bathroom, where clean. I mean, I know they ask to be the fanciest thing, but we want to see the work. And yes, you guys could point out all the different aspects of the, all the governance issues with the industry. And then the government side point out all the different liabilities that the owners and from that standpoint, people, because you do have people where we violate. Right. You do have buses where acting in an irresponsible way upon the highway, but I see it regularly. So there are issues on both sides. We're part of the consumer and say, okay, but we need it fixed. We don't want the conversation stop. It's like where we have that these cycles of conversation. We had the attempt for bringing the novellas. Then we had the whole emergence at the BBOC, and we say, okay, make we see how that one work. Then we had the latest one coming out of Minister Ferguson. Now we have a new minister indicated to a whole different direction with this whole private-public situation. Right. But it just seems so discontinuous. It just seems so broken up. Like, make we just sit down and stay on this and get one final fix. Like that's what the consumer wants.
I don't know if it's intentional attack on the bus industry, because if you notice, there's just a small margin of people who you would normally see making complaints. But I would like to share that the BBA, we have a disciplinary committee. And there we deal with internal issues. And if it's something that we cannot deal with, then we pass it on to the Department of Transport. So bear in mind that we do not have 100% of the bus operator. So there are some other operators out there that feel like they have immunity and they can act on their own. And sometimes, not all of them, some of them, they are problematic and there's some issue with them. So we would still try to bring them in, and because we say whenever there is one bus, there's an issue. It outshines all the effort and the commitment we have been making. And it brings us backwards because of one or two operators. I can tell you on all members on the BBA, we always stress the commuters first, safety, maintenance, and upkeep your equipment to make sure that you give the highest standard possible, so we don't get any backlash from the commuters and we serve our people properly.
So Mr. Shaw, let me jump to you with this before we go to break. If the kind of changes that you've been requesting were to be provided, do you feel that there is a majority within the BBA who would vote for you to become one big company rather than just all the many different, on your own, not public-private, but on your own, the BBA become a corporate entity that you're kind of standardized? And do you think that your members, have you discussed that? Have you, what level of support exists if you have discussed that for that?
Good question, Mose. That came up already in some of our discussions. And before it was saying like we need to amalgamate, whereas maybe you form one company, maybe Mr. Jones, Mr. Gilhara, you go and form, you got along with BBOC, they're a cooperative, or you have Westline, which is a big company, so the small operators would maybe go into, take that. But at the same time, you'd be in that company, but each operator, you'd be running under that company, but each operator would be actually dealing with their own finance. What the problem the operators has right now is that if all the funds go into one coffer and you're telling the operators after all expenses are being paid, then we're left, we can give you a dividend. That's a problem that the operator has, because you have the peak and you have the off peak, and on some runs it's profitable, some runs aren't. So at the end of the day, what offset a lot of the expenses with operators out there right now, that they do all the work themselves. They'll get on their bus, change the transmission overnight, repair that engine. When you have that national company, when you look at it, that's an expense, and the government will be looking at that and say, well, oh, we have to pay this one, we had to pay this one, we had to pay this investor because he invested so much money in the bus. So operators are a bit hesitant in even making this move due to the fact that it's not clearly properly structured. They want a proper structure, whereas they can assure themselves that in reality, this bus industry can be trickled down to their kids, because basically what we're doing right now is a
Hold on 1 second, caller, please. Go ahead, Mrs.
Yeah, so that's one of the major concerns, and I'm positively sure that it would work once it's proper structurally. I usually use this term that whenever you're building a house, you start from the foundation, you don't start from the top. You can't put on the roof if there's no foundation, right? And that's one of the biggest problems that we have here. The next problem we have is if we're supposed to collect data collection. It's hard to collect data collection in terms of your buses, because all the buses do not enter the Belize City terminal. Some leaves from Palote, some leaves from the backyard, some leaves from Euphrates, some leaves from the Bridgefoot out Swing Pong Yard, so from Swing Bridge. So you find out that this is what you call, we're oversaturated, and we want to fix this thing. But I think the first place we need to start from is from the top, and make sure we have a terminal that can accommodate all of these buses. Then we're going to alleviate the stipend and all the rest of it. If we don't put that in place, to be honest with you, it's going to be chaos. It's going to be hard, because the Department of Transport cannot have 5-6 wardens at the same place at the same times, you know. And I want to make it clear that we're here and we're not here to being arrogant. We welcome change. As my deputy mentioned a while ago, that we try to talk to our workers. And for the drivers, owners, conductors that are listening, we always let them know that you get out there, try to give the best possible service ever. No texting and driving, no reckless driving. Do not stop on the pedestrian ramp. Keep your bus tidy at all times. Conductors, put down the phone and deal with your passengers. Because really and truly, we have a lot to do as well. We cannot say, well, and we're not going to sit here and say our operators are innocent. Don't get me wrong. But we try to talk to our operators. Even in one meeting, I told them that, you know, eventually once you have an infraction, a letter will be sent to you, forward to the Department of Transport, to let them see that we are addressing these problems. So sometimes you find out you have 1 or 2 operators messed up, and it reflects on the whole industry. You know, and at the end of the day, we want to have a fair playing field. Even with what my deputy mentioned a while ago, operators has actually upgraded tremendously. But we have been monitoring the different media stations, and most of the buses that the operators brought in or purchased last year or early this year
not been shown.
Hasn't been showcased.
Let me take this call, Mr. Shaw, before I go to break. Go ahead, my sister. Morning.
Morning, Belizeans. Morning, brothers. I give thanks for this opportunity and knowledge sharing where I come from the bottom up, from within communities. The issue I have with the state is that before a decision was finalized, they should have like 6 months to 12 months a meaningful Belizean commuters conversation where they share the kind of knowledge we're only to share. Now, the states have one interest in it, so I feel now in listening to UNO that the way the state presented it, it was biased. I said to the minister, we need to have meaningful people conversation about bus transportation, and for him response was, Or when the Belizean people in talk every day, we hear them, they say sit down and they meet with the media, they meet with some unions. They're not the same. This put on the today the what we look for. Their kind of conversation that I ask the trio, put out the name and number publicly, make Belizean people access There is lack of information. I live in a Ladeville area. And I down at the top want 80 to 90% of bus upgrade. I want to tell me, Pat, you have to show me that the evidence there. Because I tell you, Central Transit bus alone, I know the feel that upgrade there. I watch other buses on the road. I know the condition of the buses. I know the sit and the upgrade there. Now my favorite, I tell you, I don't have one buyer. My favorite bus line in the whole world is James bus line. I'm going down with the James bus line. You know why? Yeah. When they never had no bus service, that brother got a record for come out with the people with truck. That's why I out to James. So no, I don't think it's fair. The state never invested in a serious public transportation system. No, they want to pick flowers that don't grow. I know they would end it. So I appreciate when you come out and put everything on the table. And if the government feels that they say something will allow not you, I'm like I tell you no. I ride bus for that baby. So I don't worry if people went time. I mean, but the bus the canal side, so where that you don't want to go up on the bridge, you can go out town you make one left. Well, if they're on the left side, that me a bus. And I could talk about Gilhari bus terminal, the one where they buy Mitch and Robert. Nice big bus terminal, clean. So I ride bus all my life, so I know what good things stay like. So I could say, and not only my voice, I just have people tend to hear my voice. So I just said, I appeal to them, put on a name and number out a road so Belizean people could access Uno. I know I look for one of who you represent when it comes to the bus. I just don't straight out just the state. Because the way the state put the story, you have things say, this is the best thing, but I agree to them. Only the people could say the people mean Uno must have majority, but I decide now, Uno must have majority but ownership in our system because the Uno that the people will come out for the people who need transportation. Whenever the state invests in our national and I wow about the knowledge of what is happening at the region and give statistics on the talking our language brother. Uno makes me day this morning. Give thanks again, put the name and number out there so we could access it. Me what I don't know. When they do good, me and say good. Like the Ladeville. So that's another thing what concern me. The chief says the bus service the Ladeville have political ownership. No, people out the road might not say anything publicly, but if that is indeed true and the state not doing nothing about it, that's a why I don't trust thing. That's a one I don't trust thing, and that's just one thing we hear about. So imagine the rest here, that's the one that come up, one the hustling government one time, they get politics, get their friend a corner, bus permit. We need to find out more about the process. So as soon as we continue to come on the media, not just know, at least once a month come, share the bus permit process, name the people that were in charge. Each week, kind of more knowledge we have, the more we could defend for we as commuters and being a solidarity. There's a big respect. Salute to all this morning, brothers. Make me this. One love.
Thanks. I just respond
to go ahead.
Yeah. Very valid points. And yes, we do agree that in the Ladeville area, we have been getting quite a bit of complaints. Most of you are aware that Mr. Serrano used to do that route, and he was actually taken out. And now that he's taken out, we thought that the service would have been better, but we have been seeing whereas on a daily basis where buses are still speeding, reckless driving, drivers wearing slippers, driving with the hat turned backwards. And as I said, this particular company is not part of our association. And in reality, seeing all the problem that exists, because sometimes when people make comment, it's based on Ladeville, but the whole industry names get tarnished. And I think that seeing that this is being set for the major highways, I think Ladeville should have been part of it, and to make sure that they come up with the proper structure, the right requirements in order for this to for us to alleviate some of these problems in the Ladeville area. We had seen where a bus had overturned. We see so many different things. And as I said, if we're going to do something, Belize legislate a law for half of the country, and the next half you can say we could use the firearm and you don't need a gun license. If you're going to make legislation, I think it should be across the board. And I know it's a phase, where we have to phase in things. But as I said, at the association level, we have been fighting for many years. And as I rightly said, yes, James has been there. And people, for the younger generation, if you wanted to go to Chatham Mall, you could only go to Chatham Mall one day for the week. Right now, you could go to Chatham Mall every single day and get back, and these buses take you to and fro. You could go from Benkevejo to Punta Gorda every day, and by 6 o'clock, you're back in your home. So there has been improvement. I mean, when James used to leave Punta Gorda in the mornings, let's say 4 o'clock, he don't reach Belize City until 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the evening. So only 2 trips you could have made to Punta Gorda in that time. And then when there was no road, I mean, it took them almost 8, 9, 10 hours to get to Belize City. So it's unfair now to come and look at these operators and say they are not doing anything and they haven't upgraded and all the rest of it. And I do agree with you that we need to step up our game and come more often. We have recently opened a Facebook page on the BBA, so people will be free to actually access that and give their views and thoughts in terms of the way forward. But as I said, we are here and we are willing. We appreciate changes. But as I said, we need this thing needs to be properly structured. And as I state there, about 6 months where we have this discussion, I think things would be much better.
Good morning, WB. Hello.
Yes. Greetings in the name of the Most High Brother Mose and the gentleman from the Transportation Board. I just have a question which I believe I already have the answer, but I want to hear it from either one of them. When you ride a bus from any direction, whether it's west or north, to the city or back, and you take a bus that is known as express, my opinion of express is that since you left the terminal, the bus driver should not stop to pick up or drop anyone. This express is direct from terminal to terminal. But I noticed in more than one occasion that whenever I ride the bus, they take off from the terminal and maybe like 25 minutes after we're on the road, then they pick up all your stuff. They pick one, they drop one, they pick one, drop one, especially in the way I say like the village areas on the road. Pick up one. I could hear it because I'm a blind person, but I hear when they move in, I saw their buckets, they moving in, their buckets are off. So my understanding and the question, express to my understanding is from one point to the other point. Except if the drivers have some emergency why they need to stop.
But Ramadan, I get an
I know
answer.
they used to stop at the terminal in Orange Rock when around the market.
But Ramadan, I gotta go to break. When we come back from break,
Okay,
I want to get an answer for you. Okay? I gotta give thanks for your call and your question. We gotta go to break. We'll be back.
Come to Banquet, find your way. Engines roar at the break of day. Volvo outboard surf the waves. Castrol oil is what they crave. Live with power, feel the sound. Heavy machines shake the ground. Riding Honda, feeling proud. Rev it up and shout aloud. Feel the wind against your skin. Smell so wide, let's begin. At Banquet, where dreams ignite. Gear up, and let's take flight. Kohler's power runs our towns. JCB lifts heavy pounds. Find the tools to build your dreams. Banquet's got the best machines. Grip the wheel and never slip. Feel the rush, it's time to trip. Every brand you know and love. Banquet fits you like a glove. Feel the wind against your skin. Smell so wide, let's begin. At Banquet, where dreams ignite. Gear up, and let's take flight.
Banquet, equipment, parts, service. We represent quality.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
Whether you are a busy person or stuck in traffic or having an adverse or very demanding circumstance, tension builds up, causing you to be stressed out. Stress attacks everyone, anytime, any age. And stress is a killer. Bomb City? It's best to be alive than dead. So visit Freetown Drugstore to get options to relieve stress and to relax your mind.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you today?
I'm so stressed out.
Okay, I'm saying I can help right now. When I this daily, for 10 days, I am good after that, okay?
Okay.
Freetown Drugstore, 28 Freetown Road, where you are better off alive than dead. Freetown Drugstore, telephone 223-2876.
In 2024, the Belizean diaspora took over Los Angeles with the first ever Belize Diaspora Summit, and you know the only thing that could be ever better than that is to do it again. Belize Diaspora Summit 2.0. This time it takes place in the state of Florida, Fort Lauderdale Board Convention Center, July 10th, the 11th, the 12th. Belizeans from the diaspora, Belizeans from home in Belize, join together. Let's do it again. 3 days, government services, clinics, business displays, kitty corner, pop-up trivias, panel discussions. There will be highlights for business mixers. There will be a live performance of Racindio. Destiny Wadney is going to be there. There's going to be a live performance of Makobi. And you will have Immigration and Civil Rights Town Hall. Special guest Kenneth Gibson, interview and book reading. There will be a wind-up reception, rhythms and rum. It's happening, Police Dashboard 2.0, Florida, Fort Lauderdale Board Convention Center. Don't miss it. All right, welcome back. This is WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. We really talk about boss this morning. And if you got your wheels, good for you. But many people, the way how they move on, that by boss students, people who work, many people have to come in a town for work. Some people come all the way from Corozal for work. People up and down from between Belize City and Sand Hill like nowhere else in the country. Bus are an important part of how the nation is productive. And so there's been this ongoing conversation about how to make public transportation a better experience for the customers and while stabilizing the industry. Krem, good morning, WB.
Yes, brother, most greetings. It's me. I want to finish what I was saying a while ago.
Yes, man.
Okay. You know what the most thing that bother me or burn me? Just a dollar. A dollar, you know, you can't dead because of a dollar. But I recall the conductor said to me, that happened a week ago, that because I know that $12 from north to the city. So the man said to me that is 13 because I express bus, and it was not express because I tell them they pick up one, they drop one, they pick up one between Corozal and Orange Drop. That happened. Pick up one, drop one. So I say if the man tell me it's $13 because it's express, I give him the dollar because it's good, better, I could reach earlier, faster. But it don't happen like that. The next thing, you go here, plain the driver and a full conversation on the phone. See? That's the next thing. But I'm just bringing up, I given in my traveling experiences around the world, you have in Central America, you have supervisors. This is only an advice. Unidentified supervisors go in the buses while traveling just to see how the bus runs. But these are nobody with uniform. Unidentified, we don't know who he. He just come in and watch the operation while the bus running, then they know where going on board. But like the sister said, I am a whole rider from many buses from at least 50 years ago. Beanos bus line, Batibos, Mose Street, Kennel Side, all the buses, Novello's brother, James was lying down south. I remember the days when you go down south and it was a rainy season like right now. You couldn't cross with the river. You have to wait till the river go down for you to continue your way to PG. But anyway, just that couple cents. One love, respect.
All right, sir. So yeah, obviously this is one of the things.
Yes, sir. Concerning the express runs, and I allude to it. Yes, it's happening, and see that's one of the. That's a major concern we have in the country, and it happens all over, of which we apologize for that taking place. Because what a lot of people does not understand, that no bus in this country operate at 100%. No bus leaves from Benquevejo to Belize City with 50 passengers that are going straight to Belize City. And what most of the operators does, yes, they have that RSP that says express. But that bus, whenever it gets to the terminal, sometimes it only pick up 7 or 8 passengers. And this is the reason why I said it needs to be structured properly. And it doesn't stop. What they'll do, they'll stop at the bumps. Whenever they slow down at the bump, they take off. But you know why they do that? Because they're not getting sufficient passengers to actually cover the cost. And then some of the operators, again, if the fare is, let's say, $9 from Belmopan to Belize City, some of these same buses that are displaying the express sign are still charging the $7, which is a regular bus fare. So I would say to conductors, if you know that you're going to stop, then why charge the $9? Just charge the $7, which is like regular, but you're still going to make less stops than if you were coming as a regular bus. But most of the buses that says express, whenever they get to a certain part, like let's say at the bump, they'll let off, and if somebody's there, they'll get on. And so that is what we are aware of that taking place. But as I said, at the board level, we had discussed that, and to let people because what that is doing, we're undermining the commuters, displaying a sign that says express, and then you're not doing an express run. So before, if you know you're going to stop, I would suggest that you inform the passenger, ma'am, we have that express sign, but we're only charging you $7. So bear with us. because we will be making stuff because the bus empty. But most of the time you find out that it's all about supply and demand, right? And in our country you find out that you go to other countries and buses don't stop. Buses run all day because we don't have much industries and factories in this country to actually accommodate all of these things. And this is the reason why we need to have this thing properly structured.
All right, we're going to take this call. Come, good morning, WB.
Good morning, my brother. This is the drummer here.
Good morning.
I'm here every day.
All right, you when you click to go on in your phone. I don't know what.
Okay, you're hearing me better now?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, I say I'm the drummer and I commute from San Hill every day and I'm in commuting from in the so I know all the bus run to and all these different bus drivers. I mean, bus companies. But as you are saying, buses that run the north side, I'm not sure which one of these guys in the studio are controlling over the side. Can more like they control over or work over the side right with the association. But we always have problems in the evening time to catch a bus up. Like I come out work 4 o'clock. The bus they always want to come and stop at the Palote bus shed for a good 15-20 minutes. You do come out here in the evening, you will see much bus line up by Palote, and I know when and wait for. You understand? And these are almost like the tillage because they got 3 different run that run on the tillage. They got A tillage, R tillage, and different 4 tillage or so. So it's like a 3 brother or something. These are the buses that we have to spend on more of the time. Because the San Hill buses have like one bus company that runs from out there, I think it's Swift. And then I think we bus service run from there too. But they are not running at the hours that we are moving more likely. In the morning time, just comes out up. It's one we used to work late. And it's like every time I get problem with this bus. Because we jam up people and some of people are in a later bill. People is jam and then they go back more. So they stopped trying to see this morning by man until about and they gave out a ticket and you know how long we was there. I was frustrated. People were taking, a lot of people were frustrated on the bus. As we used to work late and they get ticket but we get pressure at work so we need adequate buses and people who could make sure that we don't have these problems. You see the drain water coming last week and this week. I know the bus and the AC don't cold. No, this AC the rain water down. There wasn't any conduct on the bus this morning so things were a little bit different because sometimes I could hear there and I assist with class and stuff like that. But these are the reasons why we want that if these people get the concessions to get these runs or be a part of this transition that the government wants, we need to make sure they have the adequate buses and they are running on time so that people could send panel and we don't have to have this problem. But at time we block down and we have to wait for the next bus come along our way. So this is a problem where this is every time. So we have hope that they could fix it, man, whosoever in charge of the buses over this side. That's my 2
Point taken, caller, and I think the authorities they're living because most of the time you find out that's an enforcement problem. Early on the show I mentioned about some of the buses that are not entering the terminal. And this is exactly what is causing the problem due to the fact that we do not have adequate space inside the terminal. These buses leave and that's where they go because they leave empty from where they park and they go and park at Palote. So that's an enforcement problem there, whereas if the authorities are listening, they need to look into that. We had brought that up already at the board level. Well, I personally brought it up because we get different complaints. So yes, we are aware of that. And to be honest with you, the standees, operators, they're not supposed to take standees. But to be honest with you, if the price structure was actually set up or structured properly, nobody wouldn't have to be taking standees. Most of the time, the operators take the standees to try balance off because most people out there, they see buses, but what it entails to run a bus, if they know what would be the operational cost for these buses, you'd believe it that operators brought in newer buses and they park the older buses. And these newer buses that they brought in are actually making the same money that the old ones were making. And in reality, if you bring in a newer bus, you should be compensated for it.
Let me ask, I don't know if you want to comment on that, Mr. Gilhari, the kind of what we say, that it happens every day in front of the bus stop, in front of Palote there, where in the evening time the bus is
I have to stress again that there's 3 principles that any business operate on. 1, it has to be economic feasible. 2, the proper structure has to be there. 3, the legislation has to be there from government. And the legislation and the structure is simply not there. The economic feasibility that a lot of people do not realize, buses do not make money every day. There's only 2 to 3 peak days of the week that buses make money. So a lot of times I could see why people take the standees, because that's the way they balance, rightly as what Mr. Shah is saying. But then the structure is, if the government would allow the bus owner more than one run to be able to compensate, balance off, then he could, when I say this, even put in an extra bus on his time. I'm not talking on intruding on anybody's permit or time. Then that would alleviate that problem, especially the standees problem. And it's not an everyday. The reason why you really don't want to say you'll bring in another operator is because of this. If you only have 2 or 3 good days, that means that other company has to have a whole hiring of different people, and it won't be economically feasible. But if you know that you have a peak hour on Monday, you bring in that bus, it might stay in Belize, do not even have to go back, because going back you won't have the passage, but it goes back on Friday. The people that are already structured right there, so most of the people that have one, or especially 2 buses or more, they have 3-4 drivers. Why? Because they have to be a rotation with day off, they have to be a rotation for servicing the buses. So they take those days that are peak hours and they put in all the employees to work. And that would alleviate the problem hugely. There is another factor that we have in Belize, in that many a times certain runs do not come out from other operators because of mechanical problem, because of whatever. So what that put a stress on the particular bus company that is on his schedule but only has 1 bus. This is where they do not have the proper structure. They say, you know what, this guy did not show up, come on, drop in another bus now. And it has the flexibility that it doesn't come in. So if you have the flexibility that you could put in another bus by another operator, then what will happen is that you compensate that run that goes back. Now, there is something that also happens why there is standees and on passengers, what you would call like an act of God or breakdown or something like that. So you have a bus breakdown on the road, the other bus is coming, he doesn't have any standees, see the bus that breaks down, but the people need to come to work on time, just like what the caller just said. He would pick up the people that are stranded on that bus to bring them in on time. So that would also occur. It's not something that you want it, but it happens from time to time. Breakdown will happen, it doesn't matter anywhere in the world you are. You will have mechanical failures. In fact, in Belize, even a punctured tire is considered a breakdown, which is not really a breakdown, but it's considered a breakdown and won't put the passenger on time to work. So these are the little things that he mentioned about checkpoint, which, you know, this is ridiculous. We do not have the structure to whereby we'll say, you know what, these buses will be checked for tires, whatever, a complete safety check. That's done every 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, whatever you want to do it. Independently, so that you know that what you have on the road is in conditions, in working condition. We don't have that in Belize. We have a yearly, that you have to go and get your license every year. But these things need to be also done a structured way. Look, if you want good buses on the road, it's already starting to happening with the bus owners through the previous minister that said, you know what, we want you to start bringing newer buses and so forth. Well, anybody that will get another run when your permit have to come in with a good bus. And if you don't come with a bus, you cannot come in. The problem of it is all of this political interference, where anybody could come in with any older bus, and it becomes a problem. You can only renew a fleet if you put in the proper legislation, the proper structure. And that is what is really happening in Belize.
No, we need to talk money.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Kind of money that the thing. And in conversations with you guys, the last time when this emerged and you guys had met with me and we had these discussions, is that you have big people who look at this from a distance and say, while so many different people are participating in this economic activity, and you know nobody is really becoming any kind of billionaire in the bus industry, but when they look on the pie, you got people where they watch the pie. We think if you got 1 or 2 people control this pie, it could be extremely lucrative, because there is a good number of Belizeans, this is how you move, because gas price high, vehicle costs high, we are moved by bus. Is it a major worry that there is some unknown super investor that is behind this private-public situation?
That's a major concern, a valid point there, Mose. Most of the operators right now, when you look at the pie, I think my deputy had brought that up in one of the consultations, that when you look at the pie, it was a bit bothering due to the fact that the operators, their percentage would be minimal. Because when you look at the government side, you look at the investor side, what is actually left, there's no way if you say, let's say you sign off right now on your business and you owe $200,000, there's no way you could pay it off with dividends, what they say that you're going to get, because you don't even know how much you're going to get. A dividend works if it's not so many operators, but with the amount of operators, and even with dividends, some people might buy shares in BTL, but then they have an 8 to 5 job. They do not rely solely on that dividend for survival. Some people say, boy, they live off of my interest. You could say that if you have millions of dollars in the bank. If you don't have $20,000 in the bank, you can't say you live off your interest. You can withdraw everything. And
so all potential investors have been disclosed to you guys?
No. In fact, I would like to go to mention something very interesting, because that has not been done, and that is one of the major burdens or one of the major hurdles that bus owners look at. Why? This industry, if the government is really serious about revamping it, will take over $100 million. In fact, historically, if you recall, the Novellos, when they bought the entire thing, took like $30 million. So if the government was to buy the bus owners, that would represent less than $30,000. So all of the rest of the money would have to come from somewhere.
30 million.
Less than 70 million, maybe. Yeah. I would put it that probably they can probably buy out the industry with about 20 million. And the other 80 will be from some other source. So that's why I'm saying that the bus owner share would be between 10 and 15%. Because I'm not so sure about that 20. I'm giving it a generous amount. So where will that money come from? Remember, any business has to be economically feasible. So the concern that we have is a major one for the public, a major one for the government of the Belize, which is, if something goes wrong, who ends up paying all bills that are not being paid afterwards? The public, the taxpayers. So they have to be really careful about this whole amount. The bus owners, they absorb their licking because they lose their houses. And it would be far less dangerous for government on the financial side, because it's private people losing their money, not the public money. You know, so it's something that really has to be taken carefully and looked at.
When the last time the problem started, because the move was made and they knew that it was premised on taking up the bus fares without having that conversation with the citizens to say this was going to happen, and that escalated into a young man being shot because of the protest that happened out west. That's where it escalated
yes, sir.
to.
Yes, sir.
So we should learn our lesson that if we talk money, make we talk money thoroughly. Where the money come from and what are the implications for the cost. Now, the assurance has been given in the press conference that fares would not go up. Again, but you would have to at least put out some kind of spreadsheet for make all the numbers be available. I don't know, what are your thoughts on that?
To share what Brother Gidaro was saying, that I too believe this industry, if they say they are serious and the operator is willing to go with it, easily over 100 million. Because modernization come at a cost. There is no way you can convince me that you will bring in 100 and 150 new buses, brand new buses. And we're talking about $1 million, close to $1 million for one of those buses. So you're on point, brother Gilari.
Yeah.
New terminals, a modern terminal, even to fix what they have would cost a significant amount. So there is no way, I am convinced, that the general public will not share this burden of modernization. Why I said that? Because we're in the industry for so long, and we have our personal finance tie up and mix up with this, because then it's either do or die. You either lay down or you continue to fight. And we have no plans on laying down right now. So we will fight for what we believe is right, and we are just asking for the government to be just, to be fair. We also put the commuters first, but we are the one that are up from 2, 3 in the morning trying to make sure that bus is ready to take commuters to school, passengers to work, teachers, public servants. So it's a collective effort from all operators to ensure, because if that bus doesn't work... What percentage
of operators come under the BBA presently?
We have about...
31.
What percentage of all operators?
Well, we have majority of operators.
On the major highways.
We have majority.
You say about 60?
We have about 60 to 70%, about 70%.
70 to 75 you have.
70 to 75. We have Westline, that is a member of the BBA. James.
What percentage of your operators are leaning towards this? Of your 75% of the all operators?
Well, the majority, over 50% is saying no.
It's over 50%.
Over 50% is saying no, and they do not even want
Concerning
to
that particular point, look, we are all willing to listen and try to understand government proposal, because it's not a bad concept. The problem is, how are you going about the concept?
Details.
Yeah. The detail, they say don't know the detail, the devil is the details. So that is it. But before I lose this train of thought, another thing that a lot of people do not realize is that if the PPP is formed, it has higher operational costs, because as a bus owner, you are chief cook and battle washer. You drive the bus, you repair the bus, you do all kind of things. So
sweat equity.
Yes. So what happened? The bus industry survives in the private industry because most of the bus owners, they do their own stuff. If you would have a company, yes, there is thing that you can say, well, it go down, but it won't be everything. It's like in the cane industry. You know, the cane industry is not profitable. If you do the maths behind the cane industry, all your expense and the real profit that stays after everything, it's minimal. And this year, I'm sure everybody will lose their shirt. But what makes the industry viable for the cane farmer is because he has his cane loader, he has his truck, and most of the time, he does everything. Or he has his family and a few workers that does everything. So the profit from the truck stays with him, the loader stays with him, and that is what makes it viable. And that's the same thing with the bus industry. And a lot of people don't really realize that aspect of it.
Sure.
That whereby is that cost will go up. It not only go because of that. Heavy, newer equipment is more expensive to maintain. If you break one windshield on a modern bus, you're looking about $4,000 to $5,000.
What?
Yes, sir.
Operators.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That one, the cheapest one, probably would be like 2,000 and change. The Bluebird buses, they're only between $400 and $600. So how much money do you need to make in profit to repair one and the other? And it goes further than that. If you have a mechanical problem with an electronic bus, a pump, is a hydraulic pump, injector is about $8,000. On the other mechanical buses, it's only about $2,000. So it's go ahead, brother.
Yeah, but to finish, I was alluding to what Mr. Gilaris was saying.
But I have to go to break.
Yes.
So I have to go to break. I really the butcher the time. I go in a break and then get some thoughts before we wrap it up. Yeah. In 2024, the Belizean diaspora took over Los Angeles with the first ever Belize Diaspora Summit, and you know the only thing that could be ever better than that is to do it again. Belize Diaspora Summit 2.0. This time it takes place in the state of Florida, Fort Lauderdale Port Convention Center, July 10th, the 11th, the 12th. Belizeans from the diaspora, Belizeans from home in Belize, join together. Let's do it again. 3 days, government services, clinics, business displays, kitty corner, pop-up trivias, panel discussions. There will be highlights for business mixers. There will be live performance. Racindio, Destiny Wasney is going to be there. There's going to be a live performance of Makobi. And you will have Immigration and Civil Rights Town Hall. Special guest Kenneth Gibson, interview and book reading. There will be a wind-up reception, rhythms and rum. It's happening, Police Dashboard 2.0, Florida, Fort Lauderdale Port Convention Center. Don't miss it.
In Belize, we value our families, we value our communities, we value our neighbors. 90% of Belizeans think it's time for laws that protect all of us and reflect society at its best. 94% of Belizeans agree that public spaces in Belize should be more accessible to people living with disabilities. In Belize, we believe in fair treatment and supporting one another. We know that our beautiful country is at its best when we come together for the greater good. 2 out of 3 Belizeans support a new law to prevent discrimination in employment and public spaces. It shouldn't matter where we come from, who we love, or what we look like. Belizeans deserve to live our best lives. It's time for laws that protect all of us and reflect our society at its best. Equal Opportunities Bill. Belize, we're ready.
At Atlantic Bank, we stand as more than just a financial institution. We are your partners in progress, dedicated to fostering your success by providing tailored solutions to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Your successes are our triumphs, and every success story deserves to be celebrated. We pledge to stand by you every step of the way. Today, we celebrate the values that define you with your unwavering dedication, steadfast commitment, boundless innovation, resolute work ethic, and unyielding ambition. We will navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and continue building the future together.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
All right, welcome back. WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Mose Hyde in the house with you. We were out of time, but we do have to get final thoughts from our three guests in the house. We're going to talk boss. And boss now a big deal, no small deal. There is the whole aspect of it's an industry that has created ownership, access to everyday Belizeans for actually, have one business. It's a major part of the nation's productivity, the movement of the workforce. So when we talk boss, we know to talk something small. They're not a luxury. This is a part of how we keep the nation up. And so we are very grateful that the BBA has been in the house. President Thomas Shaw at very last notice accepted our invitation to come here. Of course, Brother Philip Jones, he's been here from the days of the Novella Bate. It's been a while. You put in your mileage on the show, and one of the biggest name in boss for a very long time. The Gilhari name still strong. Ferdinand Gilhari here with us representing the BBA. We actually, I know we obviously feel like we left a lot of things undealt with, but that's how we have to go sometimes.
We'll
right?
be back.
Yeah, man. So you guys take the.
Well, I'll start off. I want to thank the sister Yaya for calling and give us the encouragement there. That was warmly felt. I appreciate that. I know there's a lot of brother and sister out there that we need to showcase our product more, and we need to be more promote our business more, because oftentimes some of the media house doesn't do it. But at the end of the day, I listened to the Yaya show, and it says, who give your bread, you sing for. And that means a lot to me. So with that said, I just want the general public to know that with this PPP, it would definitely come at a cost. So no let no ghost fool you. There's no way you could buy 100 or 150 bus and not come at a cost. Build brand new terminal and not come at a cost with a small society as us. And we are looking that it will come double the cost if they want it to be sustainable. And I just want to share something, because I am here on behalf of the membership of the BBA, and I got a message, and one of the members asked me to raise the point where the minister said that 16 operators was with him. The last session we had with the minister, I stand up and I ask, when he is saying 16 with him, is it to sell out or is it to continue listen to the consultation and the promotion? And he said it was to listen and continue listen to the consultation. So I just wanted to mention that. And any investment make has to be profitable. And there's only two ways you can do that. One, you need to drop the cost on fuel and tax. And secondly, you have to raise the price. And we are seeing this direction and this trajectory that it will come at a cost at the Belizean public.
Yeah, I would echo similar sentiments that, yes, indeed, that nothing from nothing leaves nothing. And if you want better service or brand new buses, definitely you got to pay more. And let no two ways about it, no doubt about it, that if you want these buses, that what the minister state that he wants to bring in, it's going to come at a cost. Most of the time, sometimes I would get called, Sasha, at that point, your boss, one night you could give me a run. I said, I would call the conductor. He said, I want $5. We still take them. Now what the commuter failed to realize, that I can make that decision because that's my boss. But if I'm working for the government, I cannot make that decision. I'll get fired. So be careful what you ask for, because in reality, when there is a monopoly, you don't have no competition. Nobody to say, well, this one I'll charge 5, that one I'll charge 6. And if you see you're not making money, the only thing you can do is to raise the bus fare, or you raise something else. We see it happening in the past, whereas sometimes you figure that owning everything, life will be better for you, but progress brings problems. And we have to remember that. And last but not least, I urge all my drivers, conductors that are part of the BBA to please, let's just work together in unity. We're not here to bring down the government. We're here to work in hand with them to make sure that we can provide a better service. We personally would like to have a one-on-one sit with the executive, with the minister, to see where we go from here, because really and truly, from the BBA point of view, we see where like this thing is being fast forward, it's being rushed, and I think it needs more time for operators to grasp what is actually taking place. And as I said, the biggest problem that the operator has right now is trust, due to the past administration and past ministers and things that they have been promised, and nothing hasn't been materialized up to this present point in time. Thank you.
I would like to thank the general public for their patronage and the years of support. I would like to assure them that the bus owners are in 100% agreement with modernizing our transportation system. But we know that we can do this ourselves if the proper incentive is there from government with proper legislation and structure. So with that said, I thank God for everything and blessing that He has given us.
Thank you all for coming here and sharing the information, sharing the knowledge, and sharing your concerns. We'll take our last break and come back and close the show.
In 2024, the Belizean diaspora took over Los Angeles with the first ever Belize Diaspora Summit, and you know the only thing that could be ever better than that is to do it again. Belize Diaspora Summit 2.0. This time it takes place in the state of Florida, Fort Lauderdale Board Convention Center, July 10th, the 11th, the 12th. Belizeans from the diaspora, Belizeans from home in Belize, join together. Let's do it again. 3 days, government services, clinics, business displays, kitty corner, pop-up trivias, panel discussions. There will be highlights for business mixers. There will be live performance. Vasindio, Destiny Wagner is going to be there. There's going to be a live performance of Makobi, and you will have Immigration and Civil Rights Town Hall. Special guest Kenneth Gibson, interview and book reading. There will be a wind-up reception, rhythms and rum. It's happening. Belize Diaspora 2.0, Florida, Fort Lauderdale Board Convention Center. Don't miss it.
In Belize, diversity is our strength. From the vibrant streets of Corozal to the serene beauty of Punta Gorda, and from the charming town of Benque to the breathtaking views of Half Moon Key. We are a tapestry of cultures, traditions, and perspectives. But amidst our differences, there's one thing that unites us all, that defines the essence of Belizean identity. Our love for this land and sea we call home. Our Belize Barrier Reef is more than just a natural wonder. It's the lifeblood of our nation, the foundation of our culture, and the backbone of our economy. Every lobster caught, every conch harvested, every tourist enchanted, every investor satisfied, every proud homeowner, and every taxpayer. They all depend on the health and vitality of our marine environment.
I may be out on the water every day, but I know that my livelihood is tied to the health of the reef. We all depend on it.
As a tour guide, I get to share the beauty of a reef with visitors from around the world. But Taiwan,
future generations of Belizeans to experience it too.
Fresh seafood is the heart of Belizean cuisine. I want to continue creating delicious dishes that celebrate our local flavors, sustainably sourced from our waters.
In Belize, we may come from different backgrounds, but we all share the same dream: a thriving marine environment capable of sustaining us all. Together, let's work toward that future. A future where we all thrive.
At Atlantic Bank, we stand as more than just a financial institution. We are your partners in progress, dedicated to fostering your success by providing tailored solutions to micro, small, and medium enterprises. Your successes are our triumphs, and every success story deserves to be celebrated. We pledge to stand by you every step of the way. Today, we celebrate the values that define you with your unwavering dedication, steadfast commitment, boundless innovation, resolute work ethic, and unyielding ambition. We will navigate challenges, seize opportunities, and continue building the future together.
Make light work lighter and quicker with switch technology from Axi Power Tools. Axi Switch technology breaks the bondage of power cords and grants you the luxury of freedom and precision. Switch one battery across all your Axi line power tools effortlessly, allowing for quick and efficient work. Cut the cords. Choose efficiency with Axi Switch technology. Only at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
Belize, we thank you for being here, our team for a little bit of overtime, our guests for sharing their knowledge, experiences and concern, and you listening, watching, and our callers always give thanks. Right now we've got to close off. With health and strength, we'll be back tomorrow morning at 6:30 for the Tuesday morning edition of Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. Salute at Commuter. Who did it, Larry G or Tony G? Huh? Tony? Okay, International Reggae Kingpin, big up yourself. At XTV the Glue, Pa Cliff, Mr. Cliff Lewis, and at the control, Alexi Belide. Have a great Monday. As always, stand strong, stand firm. For now, we're gone!
Wake up, believe. Wake up, believe. Wake up, believe. Wake up, believe. Another day is here. Wake up, believe. Wake up, believe. We gotta keep moving. Na 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 na. Wake up, believe. Wake up, believe. Everybody gotta put the time in. Wake up, believe. Wake up, believe. Voice our opinion and place your calling. Be yourself, see yourself. This is the show my people. Believe our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No respect on selfishness and cooperation.